Imagine a world where the past is never allowed to fade away. A world where the law itself refuses to let anyone forget. In this world, forgetting a legal decision was basically illegal. Once a judgment was made, it was set in stone, echoing through the ages. The Justinian Code, a massive set of laws from the Roman Empire, introduced a radical new idea. The law should be clear, final, and remembered. Once a judge decided, that was it. No more endless arguments, no more reopening old wounds. The decision stood, and everyone had to move forward. This was about more than tidiness. It was a revolution in stability and predictability. People could finally trust that the rules wouldn't change overnight. Before Justinian, Roman law was chaos. Centuries of conflicting rules, expert opinions, and imperial edicts piled on top of each other. It was like baking a cake with 1,000 recipes, none of them matching. Every baker or judge had their own way, and nobody could agree on the result. Justinian's idea, legal decisions should be final, creating certainty for everyone. It was a promise that the law would be the same for all, not just for the powerful. He wanted to organize the empire's legal memory, not erase it. Every verdict, every law, carefully recorded and preserved for future generations. This was a cultural project as much as a legal one, defining what it meant to be Roman after the Western Empire fell. The law became a way to unite people across time and space. The law became a thread connecting Justinian's Constantinople to ancient Rome, weaving together centuries of tradition and innovation. Justinian's Code isn't just about property disputes or donkeys. It's about power, memory, and the human need for order. It's about how societies remember and what they choose to forget. He looked at a millennium of legal chaos and said, "I can fix this." He believed that a well-ordered law could shape a well-ordered world, and in many ways, he did. The people celebrated, and the empire found a new sense of unity and purpose. The effects of that decision, made over 1,500 years ago, still ripple through our legal systems today. Modern courts, laws, and even our sense of justice owe a debt to Justinian's vision. It was a quiet revolution that shaped our ideas of justice and fairness. The echoes of Justinian's reforms can be found in courtrooms around the world. The Code's legacy? A world where law means stability, not confusion. Where people can rely on the rules and society can move forward with confidence. That's why Justinian's Code is worth remembering. It's a reminder that the past shapes the present, and that order is built on memory. It's not just history, it's the foundation of how we think about law. The Code is a living legacy, still guiding us today. And it all started with the idea that some things should never be forgotten, a belief that still shapes our world. Let's meet the man behind the Code Emperor, Justinian I. Born in a small Balkan village not into Roman nobility, Justinian's real name was Petrus Sabatius. His uncle Justin, a soldier who became emperor, brought him to Constantinople and gave him the best education. Justinian became his uncle's right-hand man, then emperor in 527 CE. He was tireless, so much so they called him the emperor who never sleeps. Justinian's vision restored Roman glory, not just by conquering lands, but by reviving Roman law and culture. His wife Theodora was his equal, smart, politically savvy, and crucial to his reign. She convinced him to stay during the deadly Nika riots, saving his throne. Together they were a true power couple, reshaping the empire. Justinian's ambition and Theodora's strength made the Code possible. Why rewrite all the laws? Because Justinian inherited a legal disaster. Roman law was a 1,000-year-old tangle of rules, decrees, and expert opinions, often contradicting each other. Justice depended on which ancient law your lawyer could dig up, making outcomes unpredictable and unfair. The wealthy could exploit the chaos. For everyone else, justice was a gamble. Justinian saw this as a weakness. An empire needed clear, unified laws. He wanted a code that was consistent, accessible, and a symbol of unity. The empire was now Christian and Greek-speaking. Old Latin pagan laws needed updating. Justinian's goal: edit, harmonize, and modernize the law for his time. He aimed to create a legal system that honored Rome's past and served his present. Justinian needed a legal dream team, led by Tribonian, a brilliant lawyer and workhorse. In 528 CE, Justinian set up a commission of 10 experts with Tribonian at the helm. Their first task, sort through centuries of imperial decrees, thousands of conflicting repetitive laws. They had the power to edit, merge, and clarify, turning chaos into order. Imagine condensing 100 years of goat laws into one clear rule on an empire-wide scale. They worked fast, gathering handwritten scrolls from across the empire. In just over a year, they published the first step. This success proved Justinian's vision was possible. Next up, organizing the vast writings of Rome's greatest legal minds. The real challenge was just beginning, but the foundation was set. With the imperial decrees sorted, Justinian and his chief legal mind, Tribonian, turned their attention to the writings of the classical jurists, the legendary legal thinkers who shaped the very foundation of Roman law. There were thousands of volumes, representing centuries of legal opinions and debates. Justinian wanted every piece of wisdom, every argument, and every precedent organized into a single, accessible system. Tribonian's new commission of legal experts read over 2,000 books, painstakingly extracting, editing, and refining the best and most relevant parts for the new code. They resolved contradictions, harmonized conflicting ideas, and created a single, consistent legal source that would stand the test of time. In just 3 years, this tireless team produced the monumental Digest, a collection of 50 books containing nearly 10,000 carefully chosen excerpts, covering everything from contracts and property to family law and criminal justice. The Digest quickly became the intellectual heart of Roman law, a reference for judges, lawyers, and students alike. Its influence would echo through the centuries, shaping legal systems far beyond Rome. Meanwhile, Tribonian and 2 professors wrote the Institutes, a clear and concise textbook designed specifically for law students, making the complexities of Roman law understandable for the next generation. Justinian himself kept issuing new laws, which were collected as the Novelli, or New Laws, ensuring the code stayed up to date. These editions reflected the changing needs of the empire. Together, these 4 works, the Codex, the Digest, the Institutes, and the Novellae, formed the Corpus Juris Civilis, the body of civil law. It was the most ambitious legal project in history, a true marvel of organization and scholarship. Roman law was now organized, accessible, and ready for the future. The code was complete, a legacy that would endure for centuries. So what did the Code of Justinian actually change? Why was it such a big deal in the history of law? For the first time, Roman law was clear, organized, and accessible. No more legal scavenger hunts or confusing contradictions. The chaos of scattered edicts and secret traditions was replaced by a single unified code. Everyone played by the same rules, making justice more predictable and less arbitrary. Whether you were rich or poor, citizen or foreigner, the law applied to you in the same way. The code declared law is supreme, not just the emperor's whim. It put limits on power, making rulers accountable to the law as well. It set out rules for property, contracts, family, and more, building blocks of daily life. Everyday transactions, marriages, and disputes now had clear guidelines. Equity, fairness, was a core principle, balancing individual rights and state needs. The code tried to ensure that justice was not just for the powerful, but for everyone. Women gained more property rights. Protections for the vulnerable increased, though the system was still far from perfect. It was a step toward greater fairness in society. Written law didn't guarantee perfect justice, but it was a huge leap forward. For the first time, people could know and understand the rules that governed them. The code made law rational, public, and consistent. It was no longer a mystery, but something open to all. It transformed law from chaos into a system anyone could study and apply. Students, judges, and citizens alike could learn the law and use it to defend their rights. This shift from arbitrary rule to rule of law was a turning point in civilization. It laid the groundwork for modern legal systems around the world. Justinian's Code set the standard for justice based on reason, not power. Its influence endures, shaping the way we think about fairness and the law even today. After Justinian, his code faded in the East, simplified and translated into Greek. In Western Europe, the full text was lost for centuries, until a copy of the was rediscovered in Pisa around 1070. Scholars at Bologna were amazed. Here was a sophisticated legal system far beyond local customs. This sparked a legal revolution. Students spread Roman law across Europe. The reception of Roman law transformed legal systems in Italy, France, Spain, Germany, and beyond. Civil law systems, based on comprehensive written codes, emerged, all tracing back to Justinian. The Napoleonic Code, inspired by Justinian, became a global model. Today, most of the world's legal systems are shaped by this legacy. Justinian's project became the backbone of modern civil law. His code changed the world. What does a 1500-year-old law code have to do with you? If you live in a civil law country, France, Germany, Japan, much of Latin America, your legal system is a descendant of Justinian's Code. Even in common law countries, Roman law influenced key ideas, contracts, innocent until proven guilty, and how we organize laws. The logical structure still shapes legal education. When you sign a lease or write a will, you're using principles refined in the Justinian's Code, made law rational, public, and a check on power. The idea that government is subject to law, that's Justinian's legacy. The rule of law in your life traces back to Constantinople. Justinian's Code is about the power of clear, written rules to shape society. He didn't invent Roman law, but he saved it from chaos and loss. Law is alive. It must be updated and maintained for each era. It traveled from Constantinople to Italy to the world, shaping legal systems for centuries. Its principles, clarity, order, equity, are still vital today. Justinian's Code isn't just history, it's a living foundation for justice. The quest for justice never ends, but Justinian's work remains a cornerstone. Thanks for watching, and remember, the story of law is still being written.